Did this judge shoot her boyfriend in the head while he slept?
Pray God is good. Yes, he's good. So I'm thankful and I'm grateful. Yes, God will intervene. Yeah, he will intervene, but he will also vindicate you of all righteousness when you keep the faith and trust him. He said, no good thing will I withhold from you. So I'm grateful to God on this day for believing in me and knowing that I did nothing wrong.
Investigating a shooting at a home in Susquehanna Township that left a man injured this morning. And officials say a suspended Harrisburg district judge was there at the time.
About the arrest of a suspended Dauphin County district judge now facing charges, including attempted murder. Sonya M.
Oh, he survived.
McKnight is behind bars being held on $300,000 bail. Police say she shot her ex-boyfriend in the head. ABC 27 was there yesterday when McKnight was walked out of the Susquehanna Township Police Department in handcuffs.
Most of us learned at a very early age. When we do wrong, it's consequences. Nobody is above the law. Well, at least that's what it's supposed to be. And as we got older, we realized it was important that we learned that lesson very early. Because as we get older, not knowing that core principle, we can land ourselves dead or in jail at a very early age. Well, today we talk about a judge who thought she was above the law, not once, not twice, but at least 3 times that was noted. Let's just say today, fam, we talk about a Pennsylvania judge who didn't know how to face rejection, which 9 times out of 10, some would say, start within your own household at a very early age. But these are not petty crimes we're talking about for this story. Today we talk about a judge who had a huge problem with shooting her ex-lovers after failed relationships. In the last decade alone, dating back to 2015, this judge was accused of using her powers to help her son avoid arrest. Some would blame her, some would. She just got caught. But on top of that, she's accused of shooting her ex-husband and her ex-boyfriend while in the comfort of their own home in the same scenario.
Both of them? She shot multiple men?
While asleep. In the last 24 hours of me making this video, this judge has been charged with attempted murder after a jury found enough evidence of her allegedly shooting her ex-boyfriend, causing him to go blind in his own home. Today, in chronological order, we go over her story, her failed relationships, and where she stands today with the $3 million bond. But before we go over this one, I want you guys to remember, I don't give you no aim, I just give you the story. So with that being said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We're gonna jump right to it, family.
Make sure you go to the family TV. I always watch him, so I hope you don't mind me reacting to his stuff. His well put together documentaries, I call them, I guess.
Meet Sonya McKnight, 58 years old. She's a district judge who was elected in 2015 for the state of Pennsylvania, beating the district judge at the time, Robert Jennings III. But some say that campaign was iffy, and she kind of won by default. In the 2015 primary campaign, it captured the seat in the general election. Robert Jennings III had sought re-election, even while he was under investigation for misconduct. He later pled no contest to charges that he had strong-armed constables for campaign cash. But then just 4 years later, May 10, 2019, Sonya McKnight was put on leave after authorities had an investigation into whether she was justified in the shooting and wounding her estranged husband. At that time, Judge Sonya McKnight of Dauphin County was gone on paid leave. At that time, her husband was identified as Enoch McKnight, who was also at the home to help the judge move some furniture, according to accounts by relatives. But here's the thing. The year before, in October 2018, Sonya McKnight had received protection from abuse order from her husband. But in a change in effect at the time of the shooting, it allowed peaceful contact between them both. But some say that was Sonya just playing chess. Sonya McKnight obtained the order based on allegations that her husband had tried to pull her from the car when she was driving, causing her to crash into a fire hydrant. Her husband had pled guilty to simple assault in the car incident and was sentenced to time served of 15 days in jail in 2018. Yet and still, May 10, 2019, he decided to go help his estranged wife to move furniture. The shooting happened at 8:34 a.m. in the 2700 block of Lexington Street. Now, the police said they responded to a call regarding shots fired on Lexington Street. When officers arrived, they learned that a man with gunshot injuries already had arrived at the emergency room at a local hospital. At the time, the local police didn't want to release the identity of the people who was involved in the shooting or specify which hospital. Now, a neighbor had went to the news and quoted, "I heard a single gunshot. I saw a bunch of cops and went back inside." But eventually she was let off the hook. In 2019, McKnight was cleared of charges after shooting her estranged husband at the grown, which investigators have ruled self-defense.
Yeah, I guess it's easy to prove self-defense when you already got a restraining order on somebody And then you could say, oh, he just became infuriated. I wasn't with him no more. He was helping me move. But then he got mad because I was moving and he thought I was moving on. So he just, yeah, I can see how that's a setup.
But some would say that was strike one. But then the following year, the Conduct Board, which investigates and charges misconduct cases against Pennsylvania judges, had claimed in a September filing that McKnight had violated probation from a previous misconduct case, centered her actions regarding a 2020 traffic stop involving her son. But she was acquitted of criminal charges in that matter in July 2021.
Great. I feel great. God is good. Yes, he's good. So I'm thankful and I'm grateful. Yes. God will he will intervene, but he will also vindicate you.
She couldn't even think of the word vindicate. You know, she was trying to put God in that. He took the words out of her mouth, tried to get her not to say it. Somebody else had to say it.
Of all righteousness, when you keep the faith and trust him, he said, no good thing will I withhold from you. So I'm grateful to God on this day for believing in me and knowing that I did nothing wrong. And I thank God for my attorney that he sent my way all the way from Philadelphia. I thank God for you. I thank God for you believing in me. Yes, and my attorney said, thank you, Jesus. I love you. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful to God.
And what's the next step for you, Judge?
Yes. I'm ready to take my seat back. I need to get back to the bench. I love my community. I want my seat. And the community has voted me back in. I've been going through a free election. And I thank God for my community believing in me and saying, you know what? She deserves the seat. So I'm grateful. And thank you.
And Mr. McDonald, just a quick question. What do you think about this case coming into it? And
well, I mean, I honestly believe that this is one of those rare occasions where I've had an innocent client from the day I met her. She's a wonderful woman. She's a remarkable person. She's got love in her heart, and she didn't deserve this. And today, justice was served. And I'm just, it's kind of reinstored my faith in the justice system. It really has. When a good person like this is given the opportunity to receive a fair trial in front of a fair judge and be vindicated, and let the world know she's not only been cleared, she's innocent.
Now some would say that was strike two. But that wasn't it. 4 years later, in 2024, Judge Sonya McKnight had a new man. A man she was living with, identified as Mike McCoy, 54 years old. They was only in a relationship for a year. And then Mike was trying to beg her to move out and end the relationship. But then on Friday, February 9th, 2024, McCoy had came home to find McKnight in pajamas on the couch. But when he returned home from a restaurant, he told her that he planned on getting her mother to help get her out his home. And at that moment, Michael McCoy stated that it was like she finally understood it was over. He said he went to bed at around 11 p.m. before waking to a massive head pain and was unable to see. When he began to scream, McKnight allegedly told him, quote, "Mike, what did you do to yourself?" End quote. Mike had suffered a gunshot wound to the right temple that had exited his left temple.
That's extreme gaslighting. Mike, what'd you do to yourself? He wake up with a head injury. Why is all her altercation happening on moving day when it's time to move out? Her ex-husband was moving her out. That happened. He said she got to move out, and that happened. She don't like that. I don't know how many times she moved, but she need to stay put.
He said Mike insisted to the police at the scene and later at the hospital that he did not shoot himself.
And was transported to the hospital after being shot earlier this morning. Thanks for joining us for Fox 43 News at 10. I'm Marshall Keeley. We begin tonight with developing news. Police are investigating a shooting at a home in Susquehanna Township that left a man injured this morning. And officials say a suspended Harrisburg District judge was there at the time. Fox 43's Robert Stover joins us right now and shares what we know so far about the investigation.
Well, Marshall, officials with the Cumberland County District Attorney's Office confirmed they are investigating a shooting that occurred in Susquehanna Township.
He got that announcer, that news anchor voice. He projected.
Before 1 a.m. this morning. Police responded to a home in the 200 block of Saddle Ridge Drive where they found a man shot and injured. The man was transported to a local hospital and his condition is unknown. Officials did not confirm the identity of the victim, but did confirm one other person was in the home at the time of the shooting. Suspended Harrisburg District Judge Sonya McKnight was confirmed to be in the home at the time of the incident, but officials have not confirmed to Fox 43 if she was involved. McKnight was suspended without pay in November of last year amid an investigation into allegations of misconduct that were filed against her by the Pennsylvania Judicial Court Board. Fox 43 reached out to Cumberland County District Office in Susquehanna Township Police for an update on the investigation, but did not receive a response. Now, Marshall, I also visited Susquehanna Township Police Department, but were not able to speak with anyone involved in the investigation.
Now, when Judge McKnight had called 911 shortly before 1 a.m. Saturday morning, she could not explain what happened and stated that she was sleeping and heard him screaming. However, investigators found doorbell videos from neighbors' homes that contradict McKnight's claim that she did not leave out the home the night of the shooting. Now, she eventually got arrested and was released on a $300,000 bond while authorities had investigated. But a year and 2 months later, Judge McKnight would be found guilty by a jury of attempted murder. Now, it's also important to note that the gun that was used was registered to the judge, and both of them said no one else was in the home at the time of the shooting. This was the state district attorney speaking on the verdict.
Is there a moment now that you can tell us this that you wondered whether they had raised enough doubt to meet that standard of reasonable doubt?
Hey, you know, I never like to jinx myself to say that I think I have a perfect case. So I will tell you, every time I walk into the courtroom, I am nervous, I am anxious, I am worried about everything that occurs in the courtroom.
And then that's like, they can't bring up probably the last case with her ex-husband because that's prejudicial, right? Like it, and she was found not guilty. But even if she wasn't, you can't be like, oh, the person did this crime, so that means that they did this one. So it's like the jury probably couldn't even know about it.
But no, I don't believe at any point in time I felt that there was anything in this case that took the focus away from where we wanted it to be, and that was on Mike McCoy. Things happen. I think in particular about the robe being dropped. The robe really wasn't relevant at all in the course of this trial, and I hope I addressed that during my closing argument.
Sean, when you talk about this case, you did not have that proof, so to speak, that somebody witnessing this happening. Was there concern that you may not be able to convince a jury in that particular?
He just said this, he asked him the same question twice.
No, I don't think there was ever a concern on our part that we wouldn't be able to convince a jury because there was no eyewitness to the actual crime. I think what I talked about in my closing is using your common sense. That's what I urge the jurors to do. There were 2 people in that house, and only 2 people in that house, and one of them, the one who was shot, said he did not shoot himself. The logical conclusion is the other person did it, and I'm glad the jury ultimately saw the truth in that statement, and they found her guilty on all charges here today.
Can you give us any indication how the McCoy family is feeling at this moment?
Relieved. I've been doing this for a while, and I'll tell you, as I'm waiting for the verdict, I'm very nervous. I'm pacing around. It's a stressful time. They are certainly very much relieved that they're finally getting some justice here. The justice system does not move very fast. It took over a year to get to this point in time. Mike still has a lot of healing to do. He still has, when you look at him, it doesn't look like he's dealing with anything, but really, physically he's permanently impaired, and I'm sure mentally he's dealing with very, very serious issues.
Do you think it says anything that a district judge was not above the law?
Well, as a prosecutor, I have prosecuted so many different professions, police officers, now a district judge. I don't think anybody should be above the law. I think the law should be applied evenly and equally across the board, and that's the way that I've always proceeded with any cases that I've been involved with, and that's how I intend to continue.
Where does this one rank among cases? You coming over to this county to prosecute because of all the dynamics, because of her notoriety? You've prosecuted a lot of cases. Where does this one fit in with them?
I really just...
He asked some crazy questions.
Dismantling the defense expert in this case. And that's the kind of staff that I have over there and the quality of work that I expect as district attorney, and I'm sure the citizens of Cumberland County expect.
And forgive me if you've already addressed this. I mean, the jury was only deliberating for less than 2 hours. I mean, what do you think that says about, your work in this case, the case that you had, and how often, is that common to see less than 2 hours pretty quick?
Well, as the person arguing to them that she's guilty, anything more than 5 minutes makes me nervous. Actually, in my experience, the amount of time that this took was actually pretty much an average amount of time. And it really shows that the jurors were paying attention. They were paying attention and they took this job seriously. They didn't just have a knee-jerk reaction, go fill out the form and come downstairs. They gave it some thought, and we really appreciate all the work that this jury did in this case. Okay?
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes.
Can you talk a little
Rejection. And when you get in the same scenario not once but twice, it makes you look back and see, was that intentional as well? Fam, let me know how you guys feel about this one in the comments. This was the judge charged with attempt murder.
That's crazy. Judge charged with attempt murder. That make you think. That make her husband. I'm sure her ex-husband went on like, see, look, I told you she was crazy. I told you she's shooting everybody. She shot me. She shot this man. It was over. And yeah, let me know what y'all think. Shout out to the Family TV. I'll put the original link to this video in the description of this one. Yeah, she did that shit. Come on. She did it. She was upset or whatever. I don't know if she mentally incapacitated. That might be grounds to like have some of her old cases go back and say, look, this judge was mentally ill and she put me in jail. But I guess it's the jury, so then maybe they can't do nothing. But hey, her sentence, she gave me something was 20 years I'm supposed to face, but she gave me 100 or she gave me 60 years. She was mentally incompetent. And she's mad at her ex, and you see how dangerous she is and how crazy she is and how she could just go out in a rage. Hey, let me retrial my case. I don't know if they could take it that far, but yeah, she definitely did it. And I think she did it the first time, but she got off because that restraining order. I don't know how you're going to have a restraining order, a no contact, and then have put into like a little loophole where they could have, what did it say, like friendly contact? Like, what does that mean? Like, it's domestic violence. Like, who knows? Hey, I'm going to have contact with this person. It's going to be friendly this time. No, he told me it's going to be friendly. No, she said it's going to be friendly. It ain't going to be no abuse. And it's going to be friendly. How do you know? It should just be ordered. That shouldn't even be a stipulation inside unless there's like children involved or something, but there should still be a mediator or something like that. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think, Cave Dwellers. Like, share, subscribe, all that. Peace.